Hello Africa, welcome to another edition of AAU Talks on AAU TV. My name is Sedi Kwashiga. You can follow us on our Facebook page and our YouTube channels at the Association of African Universities, and today we are discussing the internationalization of education, of higher education at the University of Khartoum, Sudan. At this point we'll take a short break. When we return, I'll introduce our guests and then we'll begin with the discussion. Please stay tuned.
The University of Khartoum is the oldest university in Sudan. It has a lot of faculties, and this includes the science faculty. The science faculty has a lot of facilities, and among them is the Microbial Culture Collection Unit, MCCU. The MCCU has two sub-units, namely the Molecular Biology and the Microbiology units. The microbiology unit consists of the culture room and the microbiology lab. The microbiology lab is well equipped with state-of-the-art facilities to conduct analysis on bacteria and other microbes. The bacteria are then sent to the culture room for incubation based on two temperatures, that is, the cold and the room temperature. There is also a freeze dryer that converts bacteria into powdery forms to be stored over time. The molecular biology unit is where DNAs are extracted using equipment such as microwaves. Other facilities of the unit include a sterilization room where all equipment used in the unit are sterilized. It is also where the microbes used in the various experiments are killed. A cold room where samples such as DNA and media are kept, as well as a meeting room where seminars and experiments are done.
Welcome back, Africa. As I mentioned before we went on the break, we are discussing the internationalization of higher education. And today we are in the University of Khartoum in Sudan, and we are speaking to Professor Abubakar Usman Mohammed, who is the Director of the External Relations Office. Prof, to start with, could you just give us some information about what you do at the External Relations Directorate?
In fact, as the Director of External Relations, I have responsible for many tasks. But first of all, let us have a brief introduction about emergence of this directorate. You know, every university should have a body that's responsible for its relation with the surroundings. Directorate of Scientific Research and Cultural Relation was the former name and department for such task. Okay. Emerged during the propagation of the university during the 70s of the last century. After that, the task for scientific research started to take its load. And so the department has been emerged into two different departments. One of them is the scientific research department, and the other was the cultural relation department. Later on, specifically in 2016, Director of External Relations has been settled on the backbone of Directorate of Cultural Relation. Okay. The Department of External Relations mainly help the implementation of the University of Khartoum strategy for external relation concerning internationalization, which is recently adopted. Before was globalization, and before was mobilization, and different terms, all of them concerned with the external relation. In addition to that, the department also share some relation of university with the local components, with universities, with diplomatic found in Sudan, diplomatic bodies, consulates, and every activity conducted internally or externally has a relation we should participate in. And the main issue for the Directorate of External Relation is to grab the opportunities and to tackle tactics and strategy for different purposes, aiming to aid in the nominalization and ranking of University of Khartoum. This is the main task of the department.
So does this involve the attraction of foreign students and staff, or is your job mainly to just focus on the management aspect of external relations, or are you involved in the transfer of students either to the University of Khartoum and from the University of Khartoum to external in other universities?
Yeah, in that aspects, you know, we have an experience in this issue,
Okay.
and to attract a student worldwide, you need a unique programs, unique opportunities, and you need to offer some services to meet the requirement of those students overseas. And as I said, almost we have experience concerning students from outside the Africa continents before, from Europe, from Asia area, from Arabic region, and only lately we moved to Africa.
Okay.
Yes, and we know that when we strengthen the relation with Africa, in fact, we strengthen the Africa continent. This is one of the tools that we use by providing such healthy environment for learning and made some sort of scholarships and provide some services of accommodation for medical insurance whatsoever, or even medical care. We can attract many brilliant students to study in Sudan. And I think we can add a lot in other areas during this meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with the advancement of technology, now there are lots of schools that offer distance programs. Do you do something similar, especially for students who may want to come, but for one reason or the other can't come here physically? Do you have programs that they can take your courses online, or what do you do for such people?
I think now there is a faculty for distance learning.
Okay.
Has been grown up now, and I think this faculty is in the process of practicing such technique of it's an educational tool, you know, and I think they are capable to do much of attraction for students out of Sudan. And the new thing is that University of Khartoum issued, for example, a trial for distance learning,
Okay.
and it succeed for that by issuing such regulation concerning the distance learning, and we are proceeding in that aspects. But what I can say in this aspects, there is an existing now faculty for distance learning, and is proceeding.
Okay. So in terms of this external relations, do you have teaching faculty from other universities coming here, and do you have some of your faculty members going to other universities to also teach and gather some experiences?
I think you mean exchange of staff.
Exchange of staff, yes.
Yes. University of Khartoum has been established in 1904,
Okay.
and had a huge experience in donating and receiving of teaching staff from different regions of the continent, from Europe, from USA, from Asia, Arabic region, from Africa, and we are the experience house for this type of mobilization of educational staff in Sudan. We are the oldest university in the region, I know. Yeah. So we are an experience house for this event, and it is one tool of the recognition concerned with internationalization. So, yes.
Okay. So could you tell us some of the benefits that university has derived from these exchange programs?
Many benefits.
Okay.
One of them is the structure of our curriculum concerning different faculties, the educational tool and aspects related to the process of education itself, the approach of conducting some sort of lectures, some sort of training, some sort of practical aspects. All of them we have considered, and we have negotiated a lot with different visitors come to University of Khartoum from different parts of the world, and it was amazing. Really, it was very amazing that to share thoughts with others out of the boundaries. We benefit a lot.
So, looking to the future, what are some of the program areas that the University of Khartoum would like to focus on so that they can continue to collaborate at an international level while also remaining competitive?
I think the best items that we need to concentrate in the future, according to our strategy that we built in internationalization, is to go deep with joint research and joint degree programs.
Okay.
We have double degree programs. We practice combined degree programs, and now we need to concentrate on the joint degree program because of the benefits, but still we have some sort of tickles we need to take care of concerning the issue. The joint degree program is going to make full utilization. We know it needs some sort of unifying the curriculum layout between parties, which might be somehow, it's not difficult, but it is hard task. And for the benefit, we are going to take the hard task. The student is going to be exposed to different educational environment with different educational tool, and is going to be subjected to different thought transfer, is going to benefit a lot. This is one way to be recognized among famous universities. This is one way. The other way is that we have many sources and resources for of interest for Africa, specifically in the research concerning the natural products. For example, is in agriculture, in the veterinary products, or animal products, and so on. So we have a lot to share with other African universities.
Okay.
So we concentrate on the coming 10 years on the joint research program and the joint research degree programs.
So from what you said, it seems that harmonizing educational curricula is an important thing. Is that the way forward for Africa, to have a degree that works in not just your country but all over Africa?
All over Africa, we have an experience with Pretoria University. We have experience with most of Egyptian universities, and I think there is no problem to dialogue such even among other partners and other universities. The thing is that Africa is rich in resources. This you cannot find anywhere. It's rich in resources, rich in the green, rich in the I don't know how to say, but number of kettles, number of camels, number of all these things rich. So we need to make Africa rich in human resource also.
Okay.
Once we make use of this, we make the benefit of all. We can make the benefit of all. So I think this is a way to break through. This is a way. This is one of the ways to break through to collaborate between different African universities.
Okay. So can you tell us some of the success stories of these collaborations that you've had with other universities?
Welcome to another episode of 30 Minutes with HR. I am your host, Rita Kusi. 30 Minutes with HR is a partnership program between KUSI Consulting and the Association of African Universities. I would like to acknowledge our sponsors, Hotel. We are live from the Executive Lounge at Hotel. I'll also like to acknowledge Adansi Travels. They got us here today for our shoot. And last but not least, Nationwide Medical Insurance. For all of your medical healthcare needs, please be sure to get in touch with them. All right? So today we are discussing on ethical recruitment practices that every job seeker should look out for. I know usually on every episode when we get started, I mentioned that this is your premier human resource show for employers, employees, and job seekers. And today you'll get a sense of exactly what we mean when we say that. We'll be right back, so stay tuned.
Welcome to Adansi Travels Product Knowledge Series. And I'm excited to talk to you about our FIT tour service, where you get the opportunity to customize the product to your taste. And with that, we take your details, your destination you want to go, the date you want to travel. We're able to do it to suit your budget. So you don't need to worry about breaking the bank when you are traveling with this kind of service. You can visit us as the details are on the screen as you see, or you can call us on the numbers showing on the screen. Let's plan your trip for you, and you know with Adansi, we always let you feel the beauty of life.
Adansi Travel feels life's beauty.
Welcome back to 30 Minutes with HR. On the very first episode that we premiered on season 2, we discussed job scams and red flags for employers and also for job seekers. Now, recently I was on Kwese TV just discussing on ethical recruitment practices that job seekers should look out for. And we had a gentleman by the name of Emmanuel call in. And what happened is Emmanuel was a victim of a major scam. He lost about 13,000 Ghana cedis. Yes, you heard me right. 13,000 Ghana cedis due to a recruitment scam. I shared this story on my LinkedIn page across social media. It got a lot of reach. And I think the first question that people asked were, well, if he had that much available, why didn't he start a job? And I said, well, you know what? Not everybody's meant to be an entrepreneur. Some people are meant to work in industry, all right? The second question was, are you sure he lost that much money? People were skeptical, including myself. I mean, at first I was skeptical. So on today's episode, we are joined by Emmanuel. We are usually joined by HR professionals, resource professionals. But today we decided to give it a little twist and do something different. So we're joined by Emmanuel, who's going to share his story of exactly how he got scammed out of 13,000 Ghana cedi. And of course, we're joined by our recruitment manager, Seth Osei Kodia. This is what he does. He also has stories of his own. So gear up for an interesting conversation. Emmanuel, thank you for taking the time to join us today.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm sure the viewers are ready, including myself. We're just ready to really hear your story and know exactly what happened and how we can prevent other people from facing the same situation. Yeah. So first, tell us, where did you come across this ad? What inspired you to even apply for the job? Can you give us some history on that?
Okay, so I'm Emmanuel, as you introduced, and then I'm a graduate looking for jobs overseas. So one day, I tuned my television into a station, Glory TV, and then I saw this advertisement that's live and work 5 years in quite some countries, I think 5 countries. So I was personally interested in Canada because I had admissions, and due to some reasons, I couldn't get my visa. So I tried this opportunity, and then it turned out to be a scam. So this is what actually happened. So I contacted the number. The person asked about me, quite few information. So invited me over to the office in Achimota. Okay, yeah. So I went there personally with my mom.
Wow.
Yeah. So when we went there, everything looked so genuine.
So you actually visited. It wasn't even just done over the phone.
Yeah. The initial process was done over the phone. Okay. Yeah, so I went there with my mom. And then everything quite looked genuine. So we spoke to the gentleman. He told us quite interesting stuff that got us very happy. So we paid 3,000 cedis initially. That was, I think, for the first processing fee or something. He quite mentioned something, I can't really remember. And then the next process, he told me to send my details. That's my passport, the front page of my passport, to his director. So he gave me a number. But before that, he told me to make the deposit of 3,000 cedis, and I still have the receipt.
Wow. This was the second portion of the payment, or this?
No, this is the first payment.
Yeah. Direct payments or?
Yeah, cash. I gave him 3,000. Yeah, he gave me a receipt. Yeah, I still have it.
Wow.
And then he told me to take a picture of my front page passport. So I did that, and I sent it to his director. And he told me they'll get back to me. And I told him I wasn't too comfortable with this process. I would like to meet his director personally.
Of course.
And he was like, no, his director is a very big person, in quotes, in the Parliament House. So I won't be able to see him. But everything could be done on phone. And as I see, they have an office, everything looks so genuine. So I should just keep calm, everything will sort out with me. I was like, okay, sure. So the next day, I called this man. He told me I should give him time because his director is very busy. His name was Mr. Otu. I don't know if he's lying or something, but his name was Mr. Otu. And then, so 3 days later, this director contacted me. He asked me, am I Mr. Emmanuel? I said yes. And then he told me he has received my particulars. That's the front page of my passport and the 3,000 cedis for the initial process. So he will get back to me. So that evening, he texted me and told me he's quite tired. So we'll talk early in the morning. So I should try and call him before 9 a.m. because that's when he's available. Okay. So I did that. And he told me that he told me in order for me to get my visa issued, I have to pay for my ticket. That's 9,200 cedis. That's 92 million. And I wasn't quite comfortable because I was still having doubts. But then once I went there and I saw his office, everything looked in place. Everything was quite convincing. So I came up with something. I told him that I know someone at the airport, so he would give me the ticket because he told me he needed money for the ticket so he could go take my visa for me. Okay. So I came up with something that my uncle works at the airport, so he could give me the tickets and then we'll bring it to him. Okay. He was like, no, that's not how things are done here. It's a package because it's a live and work in Canada. And with that, they provide accommodation for 5 good years and quite some your health facilities or something, your food, free transport from your room to your workplace. So I told him I wasn't interested. And he told me, okay, yeah, I should come for my money. And I said, okay, yeah, I want that. I'm really coming for it. So when I took the car, I called him that I'm coming for my money and my passports. And he told me, oh, is that how I am? He thought his secretary did everything, like spoke everything to me, so the understanding is that. I was like, no, if I haven't seen the visa, I can't pay that 9,200 he's asking for. Okay. And he was like, I should trust him, and that he works with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Quite convincing. And then they have packages. The ministry itself has packages of taking some of their workers outside. So it was in a form of a conference. So we'll go in the form of a conference. You bring your professional certificates you have, and then if the jobs available don't see your certificate, you can try opt for some other available jobs that you can personally do.
Okay.
So after some hours, I called him again and I told him, I don't have that kind of money, but I'll try and see what I can do to get him the money. And then he texted me 2 numbers that I should send the money to, mobile money numbers. I told him I wanted to pay to him. I was like, no, he's a very busy person. He works in the ministries and also the parliaments. So I spoke to my mom, tried some 1 or 2 calls, and we got him the money.
Okay. Wow.
So when we got him the money, we didn't get all the 9,200. I told him I'll pay some, and then when I see my visa, then I'll give him the balance. So he told me how much would I give him, and I told him I'll give him 5,000 cedis. So he gave me the first number with the name Bright Donko, registered as an MTN mobile money. So I sent him the money, and he asked me quite some few questions. My full name, again, my age, my level of education, if I have any disease or any sickness, kind of deficiency. And then he asked quite some questions. If I've been deported before, about 10 questions after the 5,000 cedis. So I answered them, and he told me he would get back to me shortly. Then we stopped talking for some time. So then his secretary was the one communicating with me now, calling me consistently. He even calls me on a Sunday morning, going to church, claiming God has given us life. So
Was this the secretary calling you? Or?
yeah, his secretary calling me, God has given us life. He's grateful for this day, and that's my process is, my visa process is ongoing.
Yeah.
Everything will be sorted out soon. So I got so happy as usual, especially it was on a Sunday. So I felt very happy. And then the Monday, his director called me that my visa has been confirmed. So I was very happy. This was after.
Before you move on, did you do any medical checks before your visa was?
No. He told me it was a conference, so they don't do police extract, medicals. You don't do quite some few things.
But did you also do some checks at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to actually
No.
check that the said package exists?
Yeah, I asked my dad. He said his time. My dad was once in the ministries. So he said his time, they took him to, I think, I'm coming, I have quite remember the country, Osama Bin Laden's country.
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I'm sure that country.
To go and work there.
To go and work. So
Okay,
there's
Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
no Ministry of Foreign Affairs, a different ministries that I can't maybe disclose.
Okay.
But then the package was something there for, like, it's been done in the ministries for their workers, and they find other people to just fix them in and take some money.
So it was verified.
Yeah, that kind of thing. And then I was like, okay, cool. So we'll go ahead with the process. And then on the Monday, as he called and said my visa was confirmed, he sent another number. Quite can't remember the name. Told me to send his balance. I was like, no, if I haven't seen my visa, I won't send him the balance. I was like, okay, sure. Then the next day, he talked to me and he sent me my visa.
Okay.
So I thought it was all a joke or something. But the next morning, around 6:39, I couldn't sleep because I was so happy.
Yeah, you accepted.
So happy because the first time I applied for the Canadian visa, they refused me because of insufficient balance in my account. So I was so happy, very, very, very happy. And then the visa came, with my name on it, 5 year. I think it was a how do you call it? A work permit, yeah, to work for 5 years. So I was so happy, and then I rather called him and told him his balance. I'm sending it to him. I was like, oh yeah, sure. And I told him, so when are we leaving?
Just a quick one. Okay, so before you plan sending the money to him, how did you get the visa? Is it on True Pictures or how did
Yeah, he sent me a picture. Yeah, on WhatsApp.
But you didn't receive it physically?
No. He sent me the picture. So when he sent me the picture, I was so happy. And then I called him an hour time, an hour later or something. And then I spoke to him, and I told him his balance. I'm sending it to him. I was like, okay, sure. So he sent me the number, and then I put the money through. And I asked him, when are we going? And he told me Friday, 7 p.m. I should meet him at the airport, Terminal 3. And then everything will be sorted out with me. So Friday, as usual, I took my bath. I couldn't eat the whole day because I was so happy.
You are going to your dream country.
Exactly.
Stuff and everything, huh?
Exactly. I did everything. But the thing I didn't do that I was really happy was I didn't inform a lot of people. I told my close family, that's my siblings. I didn't even tell my brother because I think he'll be jealous, so I didn't tell him because he's my elder brother.
Okay.
And he wants to go, and then he's not gotten a chance. So I told only my sister, and I told my dad I'll be leaving, so if anything, I'll call him. And he told me to be very careful so that I don't put something in my back for me to be rejected, because those kind of people, they find ways for you not to go so that it will be beneficial to them. So I took my bath, couldn't eat, prepared very well, left home around 4:30, got to the airport around 6:30 because there was traffic as usual, Friday evening. Got to the airport, I spoke to this man. He told me, yeah, he's on his way coming with his team. Have I seen my other colleagues? I said, no, I haven't seen anyone. Told me I should wait patiently for him. He'll be there soon. 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Hey! So many thoughts coming into my head. What's happening right now? So I called this man again. He didn't pick. So the first thought was, hey God, not again. I called this man for the second time. He didn't pick. I called him for the third time. He picked. And then he told me he has come. And then they're sorting out some issues with the immigration. He'll get back to me very soon, and then they'll give us a call with my colleagues, but I didn't see anyone. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm still waiting. So seeing other people from hotels dropping by, going to take their flights, so happy. So quite some few people, they asked me what I was doing there. I told them I was traveling. So in an hour time, I called him to check up, like, what's going on. He told me he was very busy. He hung up. In 2 hours' time, I called him. He told me a story. A very, very, very...
I think by then you had realized that, okay, this doesn't sound
But
right.
was he having your passport?
Yeah.
Okay.
My passport was still on him. And then the story he told me wasn't convincing. He told me that someone, my colleague, had cocaine. So our passports has been seized by the airport's immigration. I was like, so where is he? So we could come and talk to some of them to let them know maybe if it is this person, we'll search all of us to see who's clean and who's not clean, that kind of thing. And then just let those who aren't guilty go. I was like, no. I should wait patiently outside. So that was like 11 p.m. And then someone came, a worker, came out, asked us, I look stranded. Is something the problem? And I said, yes. Someone is taking me to Canada. Not only me personally, and my colleagues, my colleagues and I, sorry. So he asked me, so what's the person saying? And I told him that the person says one of our colleagues has been arrested with cocaine, so he's trying to sort out things. And told me he's not sure, he hasn't heard anything of that sort, because they will give an announcement at the airports for them to lock doors, make security very tight at that moment. So once he hadn't heard anything of that sort, he'll make a call and find out for me. So he also called his colleague. He was an immigration officer, so he called his colleague, asked him, have they caught anyone with cocaine tonight? And his colleague was like, no. And he asked me which country I was going to. I said Canada. He asked me which flights. I said I didn't know. Personally, I didn't know. So we called this man again, and his phone was off. We called him again, and his phone was off. Called him several times. His phone was still off. At that moment, a lot of things running through my head. I've lost so much money, and this is not going to come on. Very disappointed. Couldn't know how I'll go back home, because everyone, my close family, knew I'll be traveling that night.
Oh, were you alone that night?
Yes, I was alone. But my mom came to drop me off and left. So,
Wow.
when I spoke to this man a few hours later, that was 1 a.m. So I stood at the airport for more than 6 hours standing, because it got to some time. They said people don't come to the airport for traveling purposes. They come to steal bags. Those who are traveling and maybe they want to go and urinate or something. So please watch over my bag for me, and they'll come back and not meet anyone. Okay. So security was very tight. So they asked, if you are not traveling or if you don't have your passport with your visa in it, you won't be allowed to enter. So I stood at the airport for more than 6 hours, almost 7 hours. So 1 a.m., I called this man. Then he was like, oh, he's so sorry. He slept in the place. The people told him to go and come back the next day. I was like, is he sure he really came? And what's really happening at the airport? He told me he's very tired, has a lot of things going through his mind, and I'm making calls, trying to sort out issues. So he talked to me later in the morning. I told him, so should I go home or what? And he was very rude. He told me if I won't go home, I should be at the airport. I was like, really? Yeah, I should stay at the airport till the next morning.
It's strange.
I was like, so are you being rude to me or something? You should just tell me something nice that maybe it didn't happen today, so maybe another day or something.
Of course, that's what you want to hear, yeah.
I called him the next day. He didn't pick up.
So that night, where did you stay?
No, I went home. I went back home. Okay. I go home around 2:30 a.m. My mom was like, what's happening?
Wow.
And I was like, it didn't happen. The man said a cocaine issue happened, so you contact us the next available dates. So what can I do? Waited patiently. So about 2-3 days. That was, I think, Tuesday. And he told me he was very busy. I should text him on a Wednesday morning. So I texted him on Wednesday morning. And he told me that he sorted out the case and that we'll go on Friday. And that he needs another money. That's, I think, 5,000 cedis for the rebooking of tickets. I was like, are you serious? If you miss your flight and you are rebooking for another day, the penalty isn't 5,000 cedis. It's like almost 1,000 cedis. He was like, hey, so am I trying to show him his job or what? And I'm saying, no, you said it was a package. So right now, I don't know why, if this couldn't come on from your, and the fault is not even from my side. I was right on time. So the fault is from your side. So I won't.
When the traveling didn't happen on the first day, when you came home, did you try visiting their office to check with them?
No, because the issue he painted looked real.
So you didn't try?
No. Because he said he'll tell me the next available date.
Okay.
I was patiently waiting for him, and before that, that morning, he asked me how much pocket money I have on me. I told him I wasn't having too much money. I was having 1,000 cedis. And he told me to send it to him, a different number, so that he'll use it as traveler's check. And I checked online, and traveler's check means you don't carry physical money on you, so they put it in the form of a bank or something. And then when you get to Canada, you take your money back. So I paid 1,000 cedis to him. So back to the Wednesday morning, he told me to text him. So I texted him, and he told me we'll be leaving on Friday, as he said earlier, and that I should pay penalty of 5,000 cedis. I told him I wasn't having that amount of money, and then we agreed on me paying 70% and working to pay the 30%. And he was like, okay, he'll talk to me later. So that Friday, I had a feeling it won't happen. I had a feeling it was a scam. So I didn't go. I was at home. I have a house at East Legon, so I came there. And just in case everything will go through, I'll just move, because it's just a short distance from Tema, where I live. So Friday evening around 7, the usual time he gives us, I called him. He told me, oh, the issue hasn't still been sorted, so I should be patient. And that he was at the airport. And I told him I was also at the airport whilst I was home. And he said, okay, he'll call me back later. And then he turned off his phone till about 3 days later. So that was how I knew everything was scam.
Was a scam. Wow. We're gonna take a short break and we will be back. As you can see, we're just here, just listening, trying to understand how something like this is even possible. But believe it or not, it's actually quite possible. So we'll be right back, and then we'll give some pointers. You hear more from our recruitment manager, all right?
Treat yourself to a serene, plush, and unique experience. Check in at the AH Hotel, East Legon, where every stay is unique.
Everybody wants to be the best at what they do for the people they're doing it for. That's why, after 13 years of providing you with top-notch healthcare nationwide, the market leader in the private health insurance industry is going the extra mile for you. Instead of hopping from pharmacy to pharmacy, now you get your prescription drugs delivered straight to your doorstep. We will restock your chronic medication on the regular, so you don't have to stress to keep track. We provide on-site clinics that offers you professional medical consultation from the comfort of your office. Enjoy these amazing benefits and so much more by signing on to Nationwide Medical Insurance today. Call us on 0800 222 222 or email us at info@nationwidemh.com. Nationwide, we go the extra mile so you don't have to. Join the healthcare family.
Welcome back. As you can tell, today is a bit of an emotional episode. Today we are discussing unethical recruitment practices that job seekers should be mindful of. And we are joined by Emmanuel, who is a victim of a scam, all right? He simply just wanted a job and he was scammed out of 13,000 Ghana cedis. I know that amount is hard for a lot of us to believe, but if you are being promised international opportunities, you have to consider the visa fees, you have to consider a lot of other fees that I think will add up or make you think that you would need to pay that much, right? So we are about wrapping up. We'll have him just share a little bit more to end the story that he shared with us, and then we'll ask a few more questions.
And so I spoke to this man later. After the 2 days, he turned his phone off.
Okay.
And I told him I wasn't interested again, so I wanted my money and my passport back. And he told me he had nothing. He wants nothing to do with me again, so I shouldn't call his line, text him again.
What?
Yeah, so he blocked me. And I threatened him. I called him and I threatened him, and he told me to do whatever I wanted to do to him, only if I could find him. And I told him he shouldn't worry. I'll go any mile and every mile to make sure I find him. And then the call ended.
And that was the last time you...
Yeah, that was the last time I spoke to him.
Okay,
this
so
is
after
such an emotional
everything has
story.
happened, what have you done? Did you try visiting the...
Oh, I went to his office.
Okay.
After a week, the office was closed. I went to Achimota police station to go and report the case. And I helped them with some investigations, chased some 1 or 2 people. And we caught someone in connection. In connection with these people. And then I guess they didn't have evidence, so they left him after a day, because you don't hold someone for bail after 48 hours or something. So they left him, and then that was it.
Wow.
I personally didn't want to, go after this case again, because I had lost it.
And it's very difficult to trace the mobile money transactions as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then Ghana Police Service too, you can't really trust them. I'm not saying they're not competent, but then you can't really trust them. So I just felt I should just let everything go and then move on.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's not even just about, you lose the money, but then just that excitement, the trust, the embarrassment of having to even go home and then face your family after just being so excited. I think all of that adds
I think
to it.
maybe
But
some family members can even think negative. Why did he take the money to go and spend it or use
exactly.
it for something?
yeah.
Exactly.
So just to ask you, do you think there's something that he could have done differently within? Because we spend a lot of time providing advice on recruitment. What ways do you
so I think
go about
what
it?
happened to Emmanuel can happen to anyone. It can happen to anyone. But what Emmanuel failed to do is that he should have done his due diligence by going to the foreign affairs to actually inquire about it. Because if you are not sure of something, why do I actually go into it? And the another mistake that he did was that he should have got physical documents of the proposed visa offer letter, conference, invitation.
They send me all
They
that.
send you all those.
Yeah.
I should have gotten the physical
document.
Printed one of it. And also, what happened to your tickets? They send the ticket to you?
No.
Okay, so you should have seen your ticket and all that.
Yeah, but you have made the payment even before they sent you that, or you were still waiting to make the portion of the payment?
Yeah, after I saw the visa.
After you saw the visa,
I give him the balance.
And one thing that our viewers should notice that anytime you are embarking, even though I'm not into travel and tour, but one of our sponsors, Adansi Travels, is into travel and tour, medical checks is very, very necessary. It's one of the key components needed for someone to begin access into a particular country. Going to not any other country but Canada, okay, a very advanced country. So you have to, medical check is very, very important. And also, did you try by any means going to the website of the company to actually verify whether the company is legit? I mean, the travel and tour, was it a travel and tour company?
Yes, Easy Way. Their name is Easy Way Travel.
Did you try going to their website to verify their authenticity? And all those
I think they didn't give me those details.
No,
yes.
When you type the name of the company in Google or other stuff, you can find, like Adansi, you type Adansi.
Not every company has a website. Okay, but what Seth is saying is, just to be sure, you go to that extent to make sure that they at least exist. Because even if they don't have a website and you put their name in the search engine, something would pop up. You know, so we are not blaming you for anything. Yeah, I just think obviously you're a victim of a scam.
Yeah.
You know, but when you're looking for a job, these opportunities, there are ways that you have to exhaust because that's a lot of money.
Yes. So one thing that I think, since immediately you sense scam, you could even request for the business certificates of the company. Okay.
I did when I went there. When I personally went there, I saw it. They showed it to me the first day I went there.
Proof enough to even have you thinking.
And they sent me, they sent me evidence of some visas they took recently.
Wow.
Quite last week and last 2 weeks.
It just seemed like they were really skilled at also convincing him to the point where he felt like he didn't have to do any further investigation. You know, so it's really, really unfortunate.
And what's happened to Emmanuel does not only relate to international travels and all that stuff. Even locally, people are taking money for people in the aim of giving them jobs and all this stuff. But it never happened. Just before we came here, one of our viewers called and he said he watched you on the television station the last time, but you spoke about job fraud and all this stuff. So I asked him, can you share your experience with me? And he was like, oh, just this morning, he has been called to actually come for an interview around somewhere Kasua. I will not mention the exact location. But he has been asked to come and pay 100 Ghana cedi. For Ghana, they will not take much.
Yeah.
Come and pay 100 Ghana cedi for the job. So he wants to inquire from us whether you advise him to go or all this stuff. And I was straight to him. I said, the labor law does not permit anyone, any employer to take money from anybody. You can only take the money if you've been able to fulfill the promises that you actually promising the person. So I gave him the advice that.
But I think those 100 cities, those petty money for registration.
It's for registration. But it's not allowed. It's for recruitment agencies actually can charge. Okay. They can charge a fee. But what is stated in the labor, obviously they have to be registered, okay, with the ministry. But if they are not able to get you a job 3 months after you've made that payment or registered with them, they have to give you 50% of the money back. So when you requested for your money, you were right to get that money back, right? But obviously after the 3 months, you had to make that payment to you. But in your case, you realized it was a scam, so it had to be paid. But I just think if you are coming out of your pocket, whether it's 50 cedi, 100 cedi, you have to follow those processes that he was mentioning. You have to make sure that you've gone through all of the steps to make sure that this is a legit. But then, you know what? Sometimes it's a legit business, and what happens is they go out of business just as they are helping you find something. So I think that's where documentation comes into place. Like Seth mentioned, you can't track mobile money, but you know what? Ask for receipts. Get somebody to sign it. If
Rita, they will give you receipts.
They'll give you a receipt.
Yes.
Yeah, they actually gave me one. I still have one.
They gave you a receipt. So now the issue is just you can't even find them. Like, where do you find
But
you
I
went
think
to the office and no one is there.
And I think they've channeled their advertisement to different TV stations. So I think I have one of their contacts. I spoke to them and they sent me the fake visa. The visa was actually fake. So they sent me the fake visa, same to mine. So I knew it was also connected to them.
It's a scam.
And now they are very strict. They'll go like, you have to, how do you call it, take the picture of the passport before you get to their office. Initially, you get there, talk to them, know how.
So now they don't even want you to come to the office to
now they want you to meet them around maybe the more circle, maybe stations, that kind of thing.
They don't have an office now.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know, that's why it's really important. You know, we talk a lot about storytelling, and I really, really appreciate you coming and just sharing your story with someone, because what you've done now is, even though you may not be able to recover the money, which is unfortunate, you are saving somebody else from being a victim of the same scam, a friend, a relative, you know, another job seeker. So you should just feel proud alone that you're able to do that. But I know that getting that money, that's a lot, and it's such a shock to have lost that. But you know what? It's just money. Sometimes you have to really look at it like that.
Money goes, money comes.
It can always be, I'm telling you, it can always be worse. That's usually my motto, you know. But so I know when we spoke, you were trying to go through a legal process, especially with the station where the advertisement was placed. So how do you think our what do you call it? Some of these agencies, what policies can we put in place? How can advertising agencies, these TV stations, radios, what measures do you think they can put in place to make sure that people they don't fall for these scams? Because I don't think a lot of them put any measures. You probably just pay them and they take the ad and they run it.
They don't really check if the document is really genuine. So they should be extra vigilant. Yeah, check how authentic these opportunities can be, and then I think the country will be a better place for everyone.
Let me be quick to add to this one. I have been seeing adverts of those international travels, where can travel abroad. You see their posters. You see their posters in town. But one thing that will help you to identify that this issue is a job scam is that they always have cumbersome job description, and they have cumbersome requirements. They don't have specific requirement to a specific job. They will be like, oh, anybody is open up to. And the job description, you see a job description which is more of like an entry level, but has a lot of responsibilities. You have to check all those issues. I was also a victim of what Emmanuel, but what happened was that I was not having that $500 to actually pay. Like if I would have gotten money, yes, because after national service, you are home 3 months, nothing is happening. There's no opportunity.
And these companies know that, so they prey on that vulnerability.
I was there and I had an email. They claimed they are from Malaysia. Mine wasn't from Ghana, like they are from Malaysia. So they sent me an email. They said they want me to, very fortunate, they are giving me an opportunity to work in one of the oil and gas company. So quickly I sent them an email and I was like, oh, I didn't do anything in oil and gas. And they asked me that, oh, if you've not done anything in oil and gas, can you do administration? Can you do accounting? Wow. So I move on, I say, yes, I can do administration. So they gave me option reception and all this stuff.
Yeah, basic stuff.
Yeah, basic stuff, okay. I said I will do reception. So I was there, they sent me the information, I filled it, gave all those necessary information to them. But the most interesting thing is that the advert was advertised on a very popular platform.
Exactly.
Very popular platform. And I didn't get the $500 to pay. By the time that that particular website, I don't want to mention name, realized that some people are using their platform for fraudulent activity. It was like people has been duped. Yeah. So for my residential address where I'm going to stay, everything, and they were going to pay me $100,000 a year. Wow, too good to be true. So you have to be very careful. Too good to be true. Just identify.
And they also sent me about 30 visas. So just imagine the people who have been scammed before me.
That's why we are having this discussion.
For the visitors, I think they can fabricate something to actually.
It really looks authentic.
Yes.
Very
Now
good.
they've also advanced. They have advanced.
Yeah, but if these guys actually set up an office where they were operating, you better believe they got a lot. Emmanuel was actually one of the smarter ones. You know, you went with your mom. I'm sure they got money out of a lot of.
And now they've taken your passport.
You know.
Exactly. They don't want to. They don't want me to get it.
So you had your passport and they took it. I thought they even got you.
I even told them they should take the money and then send me back my passport.
Wow.
And they asked me.
You didn't get your passport back?
No. They asked me what am I doing with the passports. I was like, okay, fine, they can have it.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Just,
Yeah.
And I agree with Seth. I think, you know, this is where some of these organizations that are supposed to represent employers, this is where they have to really put policies in place to tighten.
Not even necessarily.
But is there a way?
Like
not
the
to.
sensitization of it, like we should create more awareness about jobs coming up. Because now, as it stands now, even big companies in Ghana are being affected. Cocoa Board, Ghana Education Service, recently Lisa Hotel was in the news. There are some companies, some people are using
their
name to fraud people in town.
And we get it all the time in our HR group, you know, but we have some smart people there who are able to pick some of this stuff up. You know, so do you have any advice that you want to give job seekers that you think will save them from?
I think the government should put in place some measures to seal these stations who advertise these opportunities without really checking how real it is or how authentic it is. So that's one. And then 2, don't be desperate to travel out. It's really hard here in Ghana, in Africa, but then don't be desperate. The right time will come. If it's meant for you, it's meant for you. And then thirdly, when you're home and you have nothing to do, just try and maybe enroll yourself in short courses. Try do some 1 or 2 short courses just to keep the mind active. And I think everything will be fine. Everything will fall in place. One day, hopefully, you could even meet people who could even find you a job or maybe greater opportunities.
I do believe that everything that we go through leads to something greater, something more positive. So don't look at it as, oh, you know, this is a means to an end. I just think it's, like you just said in your own words, something bigger is meant to come out of it. So definitely believe that. Do you have any last?
Okay. And then lastly, don't kill yourself. You have so many thoughts. Come on. You are human.
It's not worth it.
Oh no, but then
you don't mean like literally, right?
Yeah, but then I was so depressed.
Yeah. Wow.
I never spoke to anyone about this. You were the first person, as I told. You were the first person I told.
Wow.
I just didn't want to.
We said we need to learn more. We need to hear from you.
I just didn't want to confide in anyone for the person to ask me unnecessary questions, weren't you extra vigilant, that kind of thing. And then here, we are more into criticizing more than helping each other.
You should have been careful. And why did you? Oh, Emmanuel, why did you? You know, I think we do a lot of that when sometimes we just have to acknowledge the situation, find the positive things, reassure the individual that things will get better, and then we just move on from it. So I really do appreciate you coming on and letting us be the outlet that you share your story with us on.
Okay, thank you very much. Emmanuel, you've been very inspirational this very afternoon. Okay, so Rita, one thing that I would like to tell the general public, especially the nursing professionals.
Okay.
So
tell them.
Especially the nursing professionals. Just recently, the government of Ghana has come up with a travel abroad policy where they are going to take some nurses out of Ghana to go and work in Germany. I'm advising them to learn a lot from what has happened to Emmanuel. They should try and do due diligence. Do the word is due diligence. And to job seekers out there, they have to be very careful about job adverts and all this stuff. Because the fraudsters have also advanced. They are using technologies, they are actually publishing their works on very good social media, good medium. They are using good medium, the television station, the radio, and all those stuff. So you have to be very careful. And one example or one thing that you have to look forward when you are sending your CV to a particular company is the email address.
Oh yeah.
The email address. If, let's say, we are consulting, when you are sending me an email or a CV, my email address is always in the corporate mail. And all those job scammers don't have that professional email. Most of their emails are unprofessional. So we have to take very good care and do a thorough search about a particular job. And also the government, Labor Commission, Institute of HR professionals, all those stakeholders must also come on board. The National Commission of Civic Education must also create awareness about
Employers Association,
all those guys must also create
yeah.
awareness about this job scam and also make sure that people are on
and then
track.
Trying to find a way to see these companies that advertise these opportunities without really
I agree.
Checking how
that's a lot of to be scammed.
Rita, before we go, you have to give me the opportunity to actually advertise one of my roles on your show. Okay, so we are currently looking for an executive assistant for one of our clients. That ideal candidate must have a certificate or a degree in business administration, human resource management, and must also work in the HR space for some time. So if you are there and you think you meet the requirements, kindly send your CV to jobs@quisiconsulting.com, or you can give us a call at 0554 081727 and you'll be sorted out.
So, as always, this is my least favorite part of the show when we come to an end, but I think if there's something we can all take away today, it is that nobody is exempt from a scam in general. Job scams. It doesn't matter what industry you're in, you can fall victim. Alright, it doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter your industry level. Within the past 2 years, I've almost fallen victim of 2 scams. They weren't job related, but it just goes to show you how desperate people are and the means that they would go to just try to get you either your self-esteem, just to bring you down, because that's what job scams do. They definitely do bring a person down. They bring down your morale. It makes you feel unvalued. But that's not the case. Always look at, if you are a victim of a job scam, look at it from a positive angle. You went through it. What were the lessons that you learned? How can you use that situation to also motivate and inspire somebody else? All right. So again, thank you, Emmanuel, for coming in and inspiring us all today and definitely sharing your story. Thank you, viewers, for joining us. And again, thank you so much to our sponsors, AH Hotel, Adansa Travels, and Nationwide Medical Insurance. See ya.